Welcome to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary with your host, Uncle Ronnie. And now, here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
Can you say ni hao? At any rate, the word of the night is ni hao. That's our password. Welcome to Fighting Back. I'm Uncle Ronnie on the Hub Radio Network, and we're here tonight with some really exciting programming. But first, I want to introduce some of the folks that I failed to introduce last week. So if you watched last week, this is Kat.
Hi.
Over here to my left. This is Gloria.
Hi.
And she's over, it's Kat and Gloria Fox, so we're the zoo again. And tonight we have a very special guest, all the way from Colorado, and her name is Lily Tang Williams. Lily, welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure to be here.
We're really excited to have you here, and we have your husband here, and we have Charlie, another friend, and we have something, the three of us, the two in the audience and myself, have something in common. Yesterday and today was our birthday. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Belated, but we have a mic
Well,
here.
Charlie's is today.
Hey, Ronnie, we have Mike here too. Mike is doing all the
Oh,
work.
yeah, I forgot Mike. I thought the show was running itself. Mike is our producer, and he makes this thing happen.
And it's not his birthday.
And it's not his birthday. Yeah, so he had. I think he was. Well, I know his background. I know he was hatched. He's an Irishman, and sometimes he's O'Connor, and other times he's just Connor. But I really wanted to talk about something just before we get into this, because this is really important. I have a lot of people that don't seem to understand our United States Constitution. I have my little pocket constitution here, and I want you all to know, the question is the Constitution the law of the land? And we have people that say yes, and we have people that say no. So we're going to clarify that right now. This is Article 6 of the Constitution, second paragraph. This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuant, wow, that's a nasty word, pursuant of all treaties made, of which shall be made, and under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in this Constitution or laws, or the state of to the contrary notwithstanding. Now, what does that mean? I bumbled a couple words there, but here's what it means. The Constitution is the law of the land. The Supreme Court is not the law of the land,
Right.
and neither are the courts. And we see every day, we see people challenging the president through the courts. The courts have no jurisdiction as long as the president is acting within the rights of the tenets of the Constitution. And therefore, all of this nonsense that goes on, and you hear day in, day out that abortion is the law of the land.
It is
No,
not.
it is not the law of the land. It is left up to the states, the 10th Amendment, left up to the states. And so those of you that are out there and you're in an argument, I've had people say the other day, can you teach me how to argue against liberals? Well, the thing is, know the Constitution and just make that statement that it is the law of the land, and anything the Supreme Court says to the contrary, the Constitution is unconstitutional. You win the argument every time. We have been so fortunate.
May I have make a real quick comment? Did
A
you know?
rebuttal?
Yeah, well, not a rebuttal, but have you noticed how the tides have switched? Under the Obama administration, it was the administration that was suing all the states, that was suing everybody. Now it's reversed itself. Now everybody's suing the president. Isn't that something?
You're right, I hadn't thought of that.
Yes, and that's the difference between a conservative and a leftist.
And could I say something too? Right there says, basically, judges cannot make law.
That's
Right.
correct.
They cannot interpret it however they want to interpret it. They have to go by the Constitution.
Yes. For instance, I'll give you a good for instance. Does the president have the right in the census to ask if you're a citizen?
Yes.
Yes, he
Yes.
does. There's no question about it. Now, does the president have the right to postpone the census for another 2 years? No, he
No.
does not.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Constitution
Constitution
says it will be done
specifies it.
every 10 years. So we got to get this into our public's mind. Listen, we have for you, those of you that are out there, we have one of the sweetest, kindest young women that I have ever met in the audience, and they're all three of them. But we have Lily, and Lily is, I'll tell you, I'm so fascinated with this woman's story. She was born in communist China. She grew up under Mao Tse Tung, and till you were about 18, I believe you were in the university before you were able to.
17.
17 years old. Tell us, your story is so compelling that when you were here at the Arizona Project the other night, I had a couple of women that came up to me after the time and said they were actually in tears listening to some of your story. So please share that with us.
Well, thanks for having me on today. This is the first time here on the podcast show. I have been traveling around to tell my stories. I was born in Chengdu, Sichuan province of People's Republic of China, 2 years before the Cultural Revolution. Of course, you know about communism, and you know about the Cultural Revolution. So basically, I was born into it. I had no choice. I did not know the truth. I did not know any other information. All I knew is that, by the time I remembered things, we lived in extremely poverty situations. Like I showed you pictures of my parents. We had the food ration coupons. We had the community housing, which is 8 families share one. Big hole on the ground as our bathroom. You have to squat, and then we have one water faucet for the 8 families, and no heating and no AC and no. My family of 5 basically lived in just 2 rooms.
Can we go back 1 second? Can you say who was the ruler of communist China at that time, and also what year the Cultural Revolution began?
And the ruler actually has been always Mao Tse Tung. We called him Chairman Mao because he's a chairman of the Communist Party and the Military Commission. He was a leader of China ever since the founding of new PRC, which is 1949. So when I was born, of course, he was still the supreme leader. He went through a little bit setback after his 50s, the Great Leap campaign failed, and many starving to death. So they...
And excuse me, when she says millions starving to death, that's true. It's not like I'm hungry and I'm starving to death when you say you've got your soda in one hand and a piece of pizza in the other. You said, boy, I'm starving to death.
And crying.
These are people that died, and it was more than 10 million.
Well,
And-
unofficial estimate is actually 20 million to 40 million. Lots of them were in my home state too. To answer your question though, Gloria, the Cultural Revolution started 1966. I was 2 years old. It ended 1976. I was 12. And the Great Famine, which is that many people starved to death, it was from 1959 to 1962 in 3 years.
Wow.
So lots of people, when I go out to tell students, do you know that more people died and murdered by communist China, Mao's regime, than Hitler did, they will not believe it. They will not believe it. If you combine and look at all the people who died in China under his regime, it's unbelievable.
And the thing about it that's so absolutely unrealistic is that these were not people that died in wars. Like, at least you can say in Hitler, as horrible as that was, a lot of those casualties were victims of a war. These are people that were victims of their own government, which was a communist, socialist, I press socialist. These were people that the country could not feed because of centralization of planning and collective attitudes in terms of people. And I believe, I don't know what the population was, 750 million people back then?
Yeah, close to that. Yes.
Imagine 750 million people. I mean, we think we have a lot in the United States. At
I don't know if you
330,000.
read anything like that, wrote by some Chinese people. In my home state of Sichuan, supposed to be very fertile land, and we call the Tianfu Zhiguo, which is a kingdom of heaven for Sichuan because it's a very fertile land, lots of water, and a very beautiful state. And people were so starving in the villages, and when their kids died, they swapped their children's bodies to eat, to survive on other people's children's bodies. They couldn't eat their own.
Cannibals?
Yes, yes, it was never reported and recorded. And the guy who started in Washington D.C. many years ago, called the Now Guy Museum, talking about Cultural Revolution Museum, and that guy later also died recent years. Henry Wu. He started that museum trying to tell people the stories. See, you have lots of movies in America about Nazis. I remember I watched Schindler's List and all those horrible movies, but no, see, we don't have very good movies about what Mao did in China. Lots of stuff still not come out to light. Or Western people sometimes just don't know much about China and what happened. So it takes lots of effort to really record that horrible part of history. Otherwise, it will get repeated.
Real quick, Mao, didn't he try to, because was reading up on him a little bit, and he was trying at some point to make some positive changes, and he was trying to promote the status of women, doubling the school population, improving literacy, and increasing access to health care, which dramatically raised life. But there was a lot of pushback with that. Do you know anything about that? And they say that then he just then turned around and...
Well, I don't know. He supposed to be a poet, or artist. Mm-hmm. You don't know. He's not very predictable. At the beginning in the 50s, he encouraged young people to give a party feedback called "Let 100 Flowers to Bloom." So everybody thought, oh, this is time to tell the truth, share feedback. My teacher was one of the college students in the 50s because the party said, kids, give us your true feedback. How are we doing to rebuild New China? A new communist People's Republic of China. And people trusted the party and trusted the regime and gave feedback. Then later, everything was turned upside down, get on blacklist and go to neighbor camps and hurt their health forever. Those people have very, very sad memories of their youth. So it's like he did say, hey, women should go participate in workforce. It's also part of Karl Marxism.
I hear the music, and it's absolutely lovely Chinese music.
Very beautiful.
And,
sad.
Well, we're going to have to hurry up and get some announcements going on here. But we want to thank you for listening in, and we're listening to Lily Tang Williams and some of the sadness of the story that where she grew up. And we'll be right back to learn about the 100 Flowers campaign and the Cultural Revolution and the Red Scarf Girls.
China is the oldest culture in the world, with a written history dating back some 3,500 years. And even 3,500 years ago, China's civilization was old. What do they attribute their longevity to? Healthy eating. Put some longevity in your life and enjoy fine Chinese cuisine at Yao's Restaurant at 2487 South Gilbert Road in Gilbert. For takeout and catering, call 480-899-0308. That's 480-899-0308. Yao's Fine Chinese Cuisine.
Do
You have a face for radio. I know I do. And when I found how easy it was to get started in an interesting, informative radio program, I jumped at the chance. Since AM radio program is being replaced by podcasting, you can even create your own programming from your home. Hi, I'm Ron Lutters, better known as Uncle Ronnie on my Fighting Back radio program. If you have a business, a hobby, or a passion and you would like to share that with others, then podcasting may be for you. With strong desire, some talent, and a deep passion, you too could get your radio message on your very own radio programming on Hub Radio Phoenix Network. We have one of the best broadcast engineers in Arizona to help you every step of the way. If you are interested in the enjoyment of podcasting, call me at 602-677-1496 to discuss the effective and affordable way to own your very own radio program. That's 602-677-1496.
I want to live better and do more for the environment. I just want to be healthy, but I don't even know where to start.
I just subscribed to an awesome magazine called Green Living with great tips, events, and recipes that help me go green and live healthy.
Green Living magazine will inspire you to make eco-conscious decisions for a healthy life and a healthy planet. Pick up Green Living today at Fry's, Whole Foods, and 500 other locations statewide. Or subscribe at greenlivingaz.com. Find us on Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. Live, work, and play green with Green Living magazine.
Sight is a very precious gift. If the quality of your eyesight is becoming a concern, see a world of difference at Family Eye Care Associates. With over a quarter-century of experience in the Valley, Family Eye Care Associates offers complete diagnosis and treatment of cataracts, glaucoma, diabetes and dry eyes, and thorough retinal evaluations with dilated exams and retinal imaging. Specialized doctors, highly trained and certified technicians, licensed opticians, pediatric and geriatric care, contact lens fittings, and high-quality lenses and frames at prices you'll like. And as always, all of this comes with friendly, personalized service. We accept most insurances and have 2 convenient locations in both the East and West Valley. Give Family Eye Care Associates a call now. In Scottsdale, dial 480-419-3900. For the Glendale area, dial 602-843-2900. Family Eye Care Associates is a proud member of Vision Source, a network of premier eye care practices.
You're listening to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary. And now here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
Uncle Ronnie reporting. We're back. We're here with Lily Tang Williams, and she's telling us about the Cultural Revolution. As we said in part 1, she grew up under Mao Tse Tung. And I don't know if I pronounced that right, but my Chinese is a little lacking. At any rate, this is unbelievable, the stories that she's telling us. And at the break, she told us a little bit about herself when she was very young and how she would have to study and when she wanted to go to school and what her duties were. Please relate those stories to us, Lily. It's really amazing. People in America cannot believe the stories that you, I mean, while we have poor, it's nothing like what you went through.
Well, my memory started in this community housing, 8 families. I shared one small room with my parents' bed in there. My bed was there for as long as I can remember, probably from 1 or 2 years old until I was 15. My parents had to go to bed earlier and get up early to go to work. So I love to read. So I had to use the cover, use a flashlight to read fictions most time, some novels, even from Soviet Union, like the revolutionary novels. Regardless, I always had a curiosity about the world. And another thing is that because we only shared one faucet, so we had to struggle to collect water. When nobody is waiting in line in case water run out, I have to go get water to fill up our concrete container to store water made by my father. The light bulb was about 30 watts maybe.
About a refrigerator light bulb.
Yeah, it's like a 30, 40 for one like apartment. It's just really dark. So I got nearsighted very quickly. In middle school, I had to go get reading glasses for nearsightedness.
Wow.
Come to America, I fixed that. I had the LASIK. Is that great about capitalism?
Let's hear it for America.
Yes. So now you don't see me my heavy nerdy glasses. My kids sometimes tell me, Mom, those are birth control glasses. So they make you unattractive.
Lily, I have a question for
Sure.
you. You said that you were reading various things. You were curious about the rest of the world. Was your reading censored? Were your books censored at that time?
Well, the international fictions mostly were read, from also they let's say sometimes the Soviet Union fighting Nazis, and the only foreign movie we watched that time were Romania and Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia people fighting Nazis. So it's all about fighting Nazis. But occasionally I can get some Indian poems and the French writer Hugo's book, fictions. I really did not comprehend, but I just love to read. It's like for the purpose of fun reading, just because I know the Chinese characters I can read. They translate into Chinese. Otherwise, what would you do as a kid? I never had one single toy. I could not afford a radio. I did not have any fun sense to do. And my only fun I did not even mention to you was my neighbor who knows play violin. And so he will always come talk to me to say, hey, time for our session. That means he will play violin, I will sing and dance and little girl. And we bonded that way through music. And that was the only fun stuff I had besides wrestling with my peers and put each other on the ground, That's our game to play for fun. Sometimes I forgot housework and I made some mistakes as a child. Yeah.
I'm particularly curious. You've already begun to mention this, but I think it's worth repeating, and it's a subject that most people don't like to talk about. And that is the living conditions where you had a hole in the ground between how many families?
8 families with
families.
children.
And you had a hole in the ground, which was their toilet facility.
Yes, and 2 bricks over the hole. So the whole huge hole on the ground was divided by a very simple wall. The bottom is connected, top is divided by wall. So the man go to another half, woman go to this half. You can hear each other when they use a bathroom, right? Because so close. And the one hole is filled up with human waste. Then one peasant will come in with buckets, dig them out, and make several trips to take them to some kind of transport truck and take to countryside. And whenever, I remember him, and he will walk by us. It just smells so bad, and you also saw the bugs, all the human waste, and I have nightmares about that bathroom. And for 15 years, think about. And the worst part is if you go at night, there's no light bulb. When light bulb get busted, there's no private ownership of any sort. People didn't care about replacing.
So nobody owned a light bulb.
No, nobody.
The government owns a light bulb. And they
Well,
didn't
you would
provide
think
it.
that, if it's a family there, at least you work together, put a light bulb there, maybe everybody contribute some money. It just nobody cared. They would have a little flashlight for themselves, private use to go to bathroom. And I did not have flashlight. I just try not to go. So everybody just will buy a little potty to use in their apartment. Then go dump it out next day. And my worst nightmare about that bathroom is that in the summer, all the worms climbing, crawling on the floor.
Little bugs.
So when you're trying to get on those 2 bricks to squat, you will step on them and they will make a little pop noise. And I'm so afraid of seeing anything crawling today on the floor. I think I was traumatized. John knows I really hate snakes and lizards and all the bugs just crawling, slimy on the floor. I dream about that once in a while. It's absolutely disgusting and just frightening. And so now we have 4.5 baths in our American dream house.
4.5 baths.
So you have your choice.
I know it's
Make sure there's no lizards or anything.
I made sure that we had enough toilets and running water.
And then one of the things that Lily has passed on to us was that the fact that the peasant who was the one who cleaned the baño, that's a little Spanish lingo, that cleaned this up, would take the waste out into the farm field and fertilize the food with it.
Well, that's why when you go to China, we always tell people in the past, okay, you always drink boiled water, you never eat a salad, everything has to be high temperature cooked. And John can tell you, when I first came to America, I still had that habit. I will stir fry my lettuce before I eat it. We cannot eat anything like, even for our Chinese cold dish, we will boil them first in high temperature, then cool that off, squeeze water out, then make a little like a cold dish or salad or something. Because it's not very healthy and safe for you just eat like, washed vegetable in the running water was not safe. We cannot drink a faucet water, have to boil water. My mom, dad still, especially my mom, still drinks warm water, like water from faucet. We have to microwave for her today. Yes, like her stomach or her old memory just got to drink warm water.
And you know, it's funny because Lily had told us this, I believe, last night, that for your first several weeks in the United States, your stomach couldn't handle the food that we had nor the water that we drink.
Right, I had a change. They call it change stomach. So you come here, you just go have diarrhea for 2 weeks, and then you are very.
Is that too much information?
Well, if you happen to eat dinner, I really don't want you to listen to that. Yeah, but
well, we do know that Mao did a couple of good things. He did have some land reform. He tried to eliminate opium, and for those of you that remember the opium dens that were so popular in China, and he did try, he did double the education in the country, and Lily is a product of some of that education, and she actually went to college in I forget,
Fudan University in Shanghai, to study law for 4 years.
Yeah. And then you continued your education once you got here at the University of Texas?
Yes, I got to use that to actually leave China. You got to have an official legal channel to leave the country. That means to come here, to attend the graduate school, get a student visa. It's that time and the only way I could discover, unless I met John on campus. Could marry him back then. Marry American, right?
Well, you know, part of you have a very interesting story when you were talking about you were a real Maoist. I mean, you were a true believer when you were a young lady.
What a choice do I have? Because since you were born, you grew up, you know what happens? Our entire country, communities are like a military camp. As I said, in college, by the time I went to college, still the same. Every morning, 6:30, big community speakers come on. Time to wake up. Here's the news. Here's the Long Live Chiang Mao songs. And basically, they want to organize you to tell you what time to get up and go to work.
Well, tell about when you were little, because Mao Tse Tung, he died when you were 12.
Yes.
So tell about that, because you were a devout communist.
Well, that I would not say I'm a communist, but I was a believer of Mao. So if Mao, to be his young pioneer, to be his red guard, you have to really believe it and be nominated to join his organizations. So I just mean, because all the intensive indoctrination every day, but in schools and in the community by the only official radio news we have, it's like that's all you know. What else to believe? There's nothing else to believe. So I just wanted to become young pioneer, red guard, and to be Mao's defender, and to eliminate, abolish his enemies. That's what I was taught to do.
And with that,
sounds like our press today.
We got the Chinese orchestra queued up here, and they're starting to play.
Is it Chinese New Year?
It's Chinese New Year. Listen, when we get back, we're going to hear what prompted Lily to wake up, find the truth, and get to the United States. You're going to be really interested in this. Stand by, and we'll be right back.
this is Festus. Take it from me, Dr. Sky knows good food when he tastes it. And we's both agreeing that it's Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue for some fine Texas fiddles. That's barbecue for you city folk, and I ain't just agreeing ya. Heck, they got their start in Leon Springs, Texas, long before I wore long pants. They've even got 2 locations in Arizona, one in Chandler and one in Goodyear. They's open Sunday through Thursday, 7 a.m. till 10 p.m., and Fridays and Saturdays till 10:30. For the best brisket, sausage, turkey, ribs, hold on, my mouth's watering already, and chicken and pork loin cooked over an open oak fire, yeehaw. Don't forget to get some of that great Rudy's barbecue sauce. No need to get all gussied up. Just come as you are, fire up that computer gizmo and check them out at rudysbarbecue.com. That's Rudy's, RUDYS BBQ.com.
Las Vegas, Nevada, regarded as the mecca of gambling, stage shows, excitement, and memories that last a lifetime.
I want to be around to pick up the pieces when somebody breaks your heart.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Connors. What better way to remember this fabulous city than with your very own Welcome to Las Vegas sign? This amazing replica looks exactly like the original, with backlighting, blinking red and yellow star, and bordered by chasing Tivoli lights. This animated sign makes a great holiday gift, and one that'll be remembered for a lifetime. To order this timeless piece of Las Vegas history, log on to the welcometolvsign.com or call 702-735-7446. A percentage of the proceeds are donated to the Nevada Cancer Institute.
Camelback Toyota, located conveniently on 16th Street in Camelback, off the 51 freeway, easy to get to right here in the city. You work downtown, stop on your way home, take a look at some beautiful new cars, used cars. Derek and John O'Malley Jr. and my mechanics in the back, Abe and Jereb and Tom, my man Jake, Felix, John Wicks is there, Levi. They are trained and trained heavily. They know everything backwards and forwards on any Toyota. Customer satisfaction, numero uno at Camelback Toyota.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bob Marshall, PhD, host of Healthline. Join me live and hear the latest breakthrough information for you and your family. This month, Quantum Digest is on special. It's the most purified U.S. peat plant enzymes. No matter what you eat, it has the power to support its digestion. Buy 2 bottles, get the third one free. Call 800-370-3447.
You're listening to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary. And now here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
I like you.
Ni hao, we're back. Listen, I want to tell you a little bit of something here. You've heard this story is when she grew up, she had to have a flashlight under the covers to get education. She had to go outside at night without lights to use the facilities and so forth. And last evening, it was my birthday and her husband John's birthday. We shared the same birthday, and we went to a place, and they had a little band out there, and they were taking children from the age of, I think, about 6 all the way through to teenage years, and they were playing a couple of songs at this place. And I couldn't help but think, when they had these little kids, they were 6 years old. They were so cute, Lily, weren't they? And they're playing. They only knew 2 chords, but they're playing this guitar. And I keep thinking, this is the way 6-year-old children should live.
Yes.
They shouldn't have to live like you lived, in secret. You had to do everything,
Right.
and you had to, the government tells you when to get up, tells you what to believe. Can't even provide you light bulbs for the facilities. Unbelievable. So continue on. You had a question.
I had a question for you. With your determination to go to college, I know that story is, you worked very hard to do that. Can you kind of relate that for everybody, how you went? And then I'm curious, when you went through college, was that total propaganda too, or was that a little more enlightening?
Well, that our law school education was a Soviet Union model. So when I decided to go to law school, because I wanted to contribute to my country, to transform it from a society, a country ruled by man, a few men, a few very powerful men, to rule of law. So I was 16. I determined I'm going to college to study law. By the time I went to college at 17, the first week of classes are full of education about Soviet Union model law. The law theory class told us law is just a tool for the governing class to use to govern its masses. We are the masses. We are the people, one of the numbers. It's their tool. What does that tell me who want to have freedom and justice for the common folks?
Right.
And I was totally lost again. I was lost after Mao's death at the age of 12 because my religion collapsed. Mao died. He was like, my God, how could he die, right? The party later said, okay, I'm sorry, he was a human. Cultural revolution was a mistake. So I got a new hope to go to college, studied so hard, day and night for 2 years to pass nationalized college entrance exam. By the time I got to law school, I got lost and crushed again. The law I wanted to study is not really the law I had in mind. And I become interested in other countries' books, fictions, music, and dances. So I did not really study that much, and because
I didn't either when I was in college.
So basically, okay, I partied. But you know what? The most important experience I had, actually, I joined a music club, and we were not doing Chinese music. We were doing classic music every week when we gathered. It was just like a rain come down to a dry desert heart. And we would be sitting there silently for an hour sometimes, listen to a piece of a symphony. It was not even very good instrument. It was just played by boombox or something like that, you know. But then we would discuss it. We would talk about musicians' life stories, background, and struggles, and the emotional feelings. I just find out that the music can touch my heart and make my tears come out. I don't understand why. It's like, just because I was deprived of real music all my life. You know, the famous Teresa Tung, a Taiwanese folk song singer, used to sing romantic songs. And her voice will come over from Taiwan through shortwave radios. We will listen to her songs illegally through shortwave radio, and her music songs were classified by Chinese government to
Classified?
do not listen to her rotten music.
Jesus.
Rotten. It's
Rotten?
called yellow. Everything about the personal relationship, love, and romance is called yellow music. So it was banned. When she died, all our generation, my uncle generation, were so sad because she was like a lifesaver for our boring, extremely political life.
So you couldn't have any romance.
No romance, I said last night. We were forbidden to date.
Until she met John.
And no, even
Then
in
there's romance.
even in college, that we were forbidden to date, but people dated anyway. I remember this first couple were criticized so much. They stuck together for 4 years in college because they wanted to break them apart. They were just 18 and fell in love the first week, and they went through some hard time. I don't understand why communism, want to destroy people's human nature.
Yeah.
And I wanted to look pretty. I was criticized, and so I wanted to listen to classic music. I was criticized, have a private album, criticized. You have to be careful. Everything was political. If I go wrong.
And people would tell the government when you listened to that, wouldn't they?
Yes.
They would tattletale on you.
They were just criticized. It's like you did something wrong. It's a crime. It's a crime for you to even, for example, wear a colorful clothes, want to look pretty as girls. Don't show your body curve. Don't show your pretty faces and nice dresses with beautiful colors and bright. You just can't. It's all related to capitalist lifestyle, and they call you little capitalist lifestyle. So you cannot do that. That means I cannot get promoted to be young pioneer, to be class president.
Capitalists were the enemy.
And then, Lily, you met an American at a dance, foreign exchange student.
Well, that was that in
college.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a question. We'll get to
No,
that.
I was just I forgot what it was. I'm sorry.
You see, you wanted to ask a question about when Mao died, how I felt it.
That was the one, but yeah.
Yeah. That basically, I was a brainwashed, indoctrinated child, truly believe in Mao as my God, and Communist Party was the savior of China until I was 12 when he died, and I just couldn't believe he died. How could he die if he was talking to me in the clouds, in the fire, like a god? And they later said he was a human being. The party come out to say he made a mistake. We're gonna start,
10 million people died in mistake.
more than that.
More than a mistake.
So I just started to question. I was only 12, but I was not that stupid. It's like I was questioning that. That means all I believed was a lie. Did they tell a lie to me? What should I believe now? I was totally lost for a couple years until I refocused on college exam to go to law school.
Well, that was what I was going to ask you also when you were in college, and you had mentioned earlier that you partied.
All right.
But wasn't that controlled, or were you a little rebel but then would get caught?
Well, the funny thing, we went through that process. At the beginning in college, we were not allowed to have dancing parties. It was banned. We were not allowed to have hair down past your shoulders, and we're not allowed to wear blue jeans. It's all Western lifestyle, remember? But we fought. We always fight with the security guards who would not let us walk to campus for classroom because we lived off-campus dormitory. Said, I'm sorry, I just had a shower, my hair is wet, I cannot do braids, and I don't have clothes to wear, I only have this blue jeans. So you constantly mess with them. They just gave up. So they departed. And so we were rebels, right? And plus we had the curfews. At 10 o'clock you have to be in bed, lights off, and 6 o'clock music come on, get up. And that when I was little, we did group exercises in school too. But in college, they just want you to wake up and the lights off, and you have curfew. It's imposed on us, even though we were adults. Like after second year in college, you're like 18, 19, 20, you still had a curfew. So we were rebellious so I think finally is Department of Education realized it was a renaissance of Chinese culture that time in the 80s, with open-minded leadership style and open door policy for economic reform and for market economy, for even foreign music, artists coming, professor, teachers, students coming. So they just let us, you can have dancing party now. So every weekend we were practicing dancing. It was great. I would dance for hours in my bad pair of shoes, so that my feet were like a horse feet, with those huge, like tough skin about them, because we were bad shoes, right? And you dance like that. It's like after that, I just want to kick my shoes off
That's how they learned to do the pony. Remember the pony?
Yeah, the pony.
But it was fun. I feel so excited, especially when disco introduced to Chinese students. We just feel like never heard those kind of beeping music before that to go with almost
like the Bee Gees and Donna Summer?
Yeah, it's like a blood flow with it, right? You can I can move my body any way I see fit. You just feel a sense of freedom and liberation. Nobody tell you how to stand, how to say hello. It all have to be proper like in the past. Yes man, yes teacher, yes mom. Now we're just like wiggling our bodies.
Well, tell us about this gentleman who introduced you to the little book.
Right,
book.
I was a junior in law school, so law school was 4 years college, and like I said, every weekend is dancing party for me, priority, and so you have to learn lots of things on your own because the school classrooms are really boring. Okay, so I met this American exchange student, and he invited me to dance with him, and then he said, would you like to come to visit me? I have something from America to show you. And I just thought, yes, of course. I always was very, inquisitive about other countries and people. I thought he might have something special, like art piece or something. So I went to his dormitory. Then you have to register to go see him.
Okay, Lily, we're going to have to wait to the other side.
I know, I tell you more.
Playing, and we can't afford to pay them for any more than this last couple of minutes. So we'll be back on the other side. You're going to hear the story of happiness and joy from a person that had been previously a slave in a
coming, and it's coming fast. Hungry for something new in the fast food industry? Tired of stale hamburgers, fries that taste like wallpaper paste when cold? High-priced fatty foods that even a dog won't eat? Well, something new is coming, and it's coming fast. The Meatball Express. Say what? The Meatball Express. Pure and wholesome beef, pork, chicken, turkey, or even shrimp meatballs topped with your favorite gravy. Red sauce garnish or served with hot, fresh garlic bread. The Meatball Express.
Flint's Flowers knows what the kid and you really wants.
Hey, hold it down.
The Flint's Flowers snack pack is the perfect gift for anyone.
Thanks, this is just what I need.
Great. Now how about a kiss?
Don't push it.
Get a room.
The snack pack has cookies, chips, pudding, nuts, and lots of other goodies.
What's a goodie?
Read your script, kid.
See the snack pack live on the Flynn's Flowers website at flynnsflowers.net. Order a snack pack today for that special...
Thank you.
Or send a snack pack to someone in the military. That's flynnsflowers.net. Flynn's Flowers, the official florist of Air America Phoenix. The Flynn's Flowers snack pack. It's almost too big to eat. These are great. Got any more?
What's that, number 9?
flynnsflowers.net. Order a snack pack today and charge it.
Want a sucker?
Bubblegum?
That's flynnsflowers.net.
Can I get a snack pack?
Wild Tiger right here in Phoenix. Whoa, big fella. Is reminding everyone to please give blood. By doing so, you may save the life of a child, surgery patient, or an accident victim. So give blood. It's safe, it's simple, and it's needed. That message courtesy of Wild Tiger at 2631 North Central Avenue in Phoenix, where they invite you in to enjoy the finest authentic Thai cuisine like Si Penang, Pad Thai, and ginger fish. Stop it or call 602-241-8995 for carryout. Wild Tiger is on the air because they care. Come home to the gated community of Chrisman Peaks and 5,350 square feet of pure luxury. Floor plans include 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, 4-car garage, home theater, even guest quarters. Breathtaking views are included at no extra charge. For more information, call 602-505-0004. Custom homes with the quality you expect, the value you demand. Call 602-505-0004 today. You're listening to Fighting Back. News talk, current events, and political commentary. And now here's your host, Uncle Ronnie.
Thank you, Mr. O'Connor. You can let the Chinese orchestra go now. Please give them a tip on the way out. We're here with Lily Tang Williams. Next Monday night at the Arizona Project, we're going to talk about the politically incorrect guide to global climate change. So stay tuned. We're going to send some things out on that. Lily was telling us about how she got enlightened from an American that wanted to bring something to her from America. Tell us about this. This is really exciting.
Well, to continue my previous story, that I went to this American students' dormitory. And when you go to see any foreign professor or student, you have to register at the foreign building, the foreign expert building, to see your major, your address, and what are you going to talk about, what time in, what time out. They're watching you like hawks. So I went there, I registered, and I never expected he just showed me little booklet, pocket U.S. Constitution with the Declaration of Independence. And he said, have you ever seen this?
Similar to this?
Yes, similar to that. It was older looking. And I said, no. He said, well, do you understand some basic English? I said, well, a little bit. Then he read to me the first paragraph of the Declaration of Independence. You know, we held this truth to be self-evident. All men are created equal. And he read very slowly to explain to me. And I said, what do you mean all men are created equal? He said, Lily, means that doesn't matter you're Chinese, you're a girl, your skin color, we are children of the God. Our Creator is God. Government did not give you any rights, and they cannot take your rights away. As an individual, you, a 20 years old college student in China, you have natural rights given to you by your Creator, by God, not by your Chinese government. you have an individual right. Up to that point, I never heard about concept of individual rights. It's always a collective rights. Society rights, workers' rights, peasants' rights, women's rights, teachers' rights. And this just make my light bulb come on, because that kind of make me all of a sudden get something. It's like, wow, I have a right as a human being. I'm not just one of the numbers, one of the billions so-called masses. And when I walk out there, I say that I'll come back and visit you again, because our time is short, right? Then you don't want to show them. It's like when you check out 2 hours later, they think something wrong with you. And so I just, next time when I went back, I did not want to register. I decided it's not their business to know what I'm
She's
talking
such
about.
a rebel.
So I said, I'm going to sneak up there when she's not paying attention as guard, and I sneak down. So I did that 2 or 3 times. I learned more about U.S. Constitution and citizens' rights. You have right to vote, free speech, free press, free association and religion, and the right to carry firearms. That was most shocking to me. And of course, separation of powers. And after that, I feel like this is a terrific country. That's kind of country good for me if I ever have to leave my motherland to go to another country to live for more happiness, more opportunities, for freedom. I said, this is the country I will come. And that day come. I become faculty member after graduation, and I start to face the reality of government censorship, and I had no free speech and academic freedom as assistant professor at my law school. And they even did not want me to go to dancing anymore with my friends. That's my personal life. It's not their business. What I do is in my free time. But my boss told me, say, all academics have 2 lines supervision, communist committee and academic. So the communist one is the one I had a problem with, not academic. So they told me, hey, it's better you act like a faculty now, draw the line with your students and mind your lifestyle. Whenever they don't like something you're doing, they tell you you have a lifestyle problem.
You know, I have to say, and this is something that as a matter of fact, I was sparring with somebody today, and I said that we essentially are a socialist country today, or we're really on the road to full socialism, in my opinion. But with what you just said, with almost any profession now, it is almost that you cannot have a personal life outside of your job. You can't go onto Facebook and just post something because somebody that you work with may not like it, and you can get fired. Or if your boss sees it.
This concept of what you believe offends me is not your problem, it's my problem.
Right. And so we are going through that today in our personal lives.
Well, that's why I am an activist, outspoken today to share my stories. I see the danger of America going down the wrong path. I'm very concerned. Very.
Because you see it.
I see it. I don't want, it's like I hate to see the country I love becoming like the country I left.
Right, exactly.
And America, you need to listen to these stories. This is a true story of heroism. America is blessed to have this woman here.
Yes.
And we are so thankful that you're an American citizen and that you're here and you're sharing this. You have the bully pulpit and you're telling Americans this, and we fight this. And I just say no to socialism forever. And as our great president says, we will never, ever be a socialist country.
But here's the thing, though, when you use indoctrinate all their life, like I was in China, they don't know the difference. I was indoctrinated so bad. It took me 20 years in America to get rid of them. Thanks to my husband, who told me about free market and different kind of theories, economics, concepts, and I started to wake up because I was kind of still believer of a big government. That when after I came here, even I was fighting against them because I did not have the theory, the concept, the ideology. I just want them to leave me hell alone. But after I came here, I realized, wow, there are other ways to solve our problems, and it's called a free market. and it's
Works
not
every time.
It's not a big government, more government regulation, more bureaucrats will tell you what to do, how to live your life, and pass regulations. And so my husband's here and with me, and I told you that I met him the first night when I arrived in Austin, Texas. I was 2 months before my 24th birthday, and I had $100 in my pocket. Couldn't speak English.
Way to go.
Yeah, and $1,200 in debt, but it's like a light bulb came on again. It's destiny. I met him, and we dated for 1.5 years. We got married now. We have 3 children, and happily married for 29 years.
And one child, I want to just remark, you tell us he is a member of the United States Air Force.
Right. He went to Air Force Academy and wanted to serve his country.
And he is a captain serving the United States of America.
Yes, he's 27 years old now. I could not believe, but he always remember his oath to defend U.S. Constitution.
That's wonderful. That is, this story, I no matter how many times I have heard this, and I think we've discussed this probably 3 or 4 times, and it's still one of those little romantic stories of
and
American.
I still get teary-eyed.
Yeah, and I know Ruby. I've seen her have a little tear.
Well, and one other thing I have to say is that you, and then we had another woman on here, Mona, and what I find so striking is that the two of you you love America, and I hate to say this, but it feels like you two love America more than a lot of people that live here, and that's what I find so sad.
Yes.
But so grateful for on that side, but for so sad for us Americans.
And that's why it's important to get her story out, or their stories.
Right, I'm hoping to come back to ASU to tell my stories. I'm going to University of Montana and to speak to students. And so that's my mission. I feel like it's almost like a God's calling after all my sufferings. It's like a got to be bigger cause for me to work on.
Believe me, it is.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you're here.
Yeah, and
It's not just an accident that you're here.
Yeah, it's like why suffer so much? Come to a free country, then be quiet about
It's preordained, in my opinion. Listen, we're real short of time. Tell us how we can get a hold of you. People need to see your Facebook page.
So if you want to get a hold of Lily, you can go to her Facebook page, Lily for Liberty, and it's LILY, the number 4 Liberty. And you can go like her page. And then also on Twitter, it's the same. It's at LILY, the number 4 Liberty. And you can go and follow her on Twitter.
Yes, please share. And if you want me to speak at your groups, then you can private Facebook message me, and then we will work out the dates. And as I said, my mission is to be educational. As somebody who is eyewitness of communism, cultural revolution, socialism, to tell Americans that the utopian will never come. It's empty promise, and we don't go down that path. I have lived under socialism, communism, and capitalism. I feel I love capitalism a lot better. A lot better.
Well, you have 4.5 bathrooms.
Yes.
That wouldn't happen under communism.
And iPhone.
And an iPhone.
And you get to eat more, too, right?
Well, I love to travel, and I love to go to gym, exercise. I'm always impressed, especially when I first come to this country. You have so many choices of products in the grocery stores. I even don't know what to buy at the beginning.
I read a story just preparing for tonight where they said somebody had come from China to the United States, and they said, gosh, you have 21 different brands of underarm deodorant.
I have to learn how to choose, how to buy. I love this country.
Well, you have been listening to an eyewitness report of communism versus free markets. We appreciate you very much. You tune in again next week. We'll be here, so you be here. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you,
Good
Lily.
night.
And thank
Good
you,
night.
Lily.
Thank you for having me.